Good evening, everyone. It's nice to be with you. It's my joy to be before the whole parish this weekend, so I'm preaching at all the masses to give you an update on our annual report. So I would encourage you to take home a bulletin. That's where we have the content of it. And so I just want to highlight some of the things that we are doing and what's happening and going on. First of all, I'm grateful for parish volunteers and then staff that put this all together. I think it's well done, and I want to give a special thanks to Deb Willis, our communications coordinator, who took a lot of time. You got nice pictures, graphics, and the like are in here. As you look at this rather quickly, I think you're going to like the numbers on the back. It's kind of spellbinding to me, all the stuff that happens here with athletics, religious ed, and school, how many liturgical ministers, for example. So all of that is given in a quick little snapshot. And when you look through the whole thing, and I was obviously a part of designing this and some of the selection of the content, there's just so much that happens on our campus. There's so much happening in our parish that it's even hard to put it all in just one weekend bulletin. So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all of you and the various ways that you participate and you contribute to make this such a vibrant community and such a good parish. I mean, it's really you who make the parish special, and I'm indebted to you for that, and I'm grateful. And I think when you look at this, you'll have things that inspire you and touch you. I also feel, and I want to say at this time, I feel blessed and privileged to be one of the priests here at St. Columcille. Many of you are aware of what happened to me in the spring and what my summer months was like. So all of that just heightens my awareness of the privilege of being able to be here and to be here as one of your priests. So God bless. When you look at this, you think about, well, what was the last year about? We were intentional about putting our mission statement on right and the big deal on the cover. Everything that we're doing is about this mission statement. We're trying to help everyone take their next step to be more like Jesus. And we want that so much to be the focus of how we are being busy here on these campuses, but also we're hoping that that gets inside of you and you realize that for yourself, it isn't just about you and your faith journey or just your own family, your domestic church, but really it's how do we help everyone take their next step to be more like Jesus. And we know that faith doesn't just grow by going through the motions. Just showing up isn't the way faith grows. There has to be an intentional awareness and intentional acts that are being made that help us to deepen our faith. So the first thing I would draw your attention to inside of this bulletin is an insert of a brochure called Columcille Commit. We've talked about this a little bit before, that the steps that you and I can make to make our faith or permit the faith to grow by the grace of God is prayer, participation, and generosity, those three things. So we kind of designed this brochure that under those categories, and when you look at them, it's meant to be like an examination or an invitation, however you would like to look at that, to at one level review what's your prayer life, what's your participation in our community here, what's your level of generosity in being active or your generosity in providing funds for the parish. But then also, where do you sense your growing edge and what God is wooing you to involved in prayer life or participation? So I would encourage you to make sure you take some time with this and you can fill it out and then get that back to us. This year in particular, I need to encourage your participation in funding the mission that we're about. You're aware that every parish has a finance council, and I'm blessed with having some very talented peers on that council. And you know me, and you know what is my strengths and weaknesses, so I have to rely greatly on what their expertise is. And what when they look at, how would I say this? They're taking more of like an analysis of the past 5 years, and then they're starting to budget for 3 to 5 years ahead. And so they're taking a much broader look at things. And one of the things they brought to my attention is that our tithing is not keeping up with inflation and our expenditures. And so inside of this is a financial report also that you can look and review. If you have any questions, we have a competent business office that they can answer any of those sorts of questions. But for me today, what I would like to do is, if you're able, and if you could be increasing your tithing for this fiscal period, that would be a great help to funding our mission. So I'd have you pray about that and think about that. And if you're not really sincerely not able to, then that's the way it is. And God be praised, and that's fine. But any little thing that you can do makes a big difference. Secondly, we've also been taking a broader view at looking at our facilities. And in the last, I would say, 4 months, 6 months, we've had a group of mostly gentlemen who are reviewing everything about our campus facilities. So air conditioners, roofs, furnaces, carpet, the pews here, the cushions. I mean, they're looking at everything across the board. And what we're looking at and realizing, we want to plan ahead and rather than just be reactive. And it's like, oh my gosh, today the furnace broke, and now where are we going to get money and do this? We want to start looking ahead of how old are things, when do we need to address them, and so that we're budgeting forward towards that. You will find in our website this case for support, and it's very detailed, and I'm impressed by the work here again that your fellow parishioners did with some of our staff members of looking at everything, the ages of everything, and then the condition of them and where they're going to be in the next 2 to 3 years. And as a result of this, I'm standing here before you. We have a new initiative of fundraising for maintenance for mission. And there's another brochure also in the bulletin, Maintenance for Mission. And what the analysis looks like is that we need $1.5 million to cover what is going to be happening in the next 2 or 3 years. And this will outline it all out clearly and you can get this, like I said, on the website. We're trying to be proactive with a plan rather than just reactive and then trying to pull out a savings or cut and paste. You'll see in the financial report where this has put us up to this point and why we're trying to look farther ahead. The good news of this 1.5 is we've already been talking about this to a number of our parishioners, and many of your brothers and sisters have stepped up, and so we already have pledged $1 million, a little over $1 million already. So thank you for those of you that have contributed. I'm very grateful for that. So we're 2/3 there. So here again, besides, if you can increase your tithing, that would be the first thing. After you've done that, if you are able, and could make a contribution in the next 20 months, a pledge for this maintenance for mission, I would be deeply grateful. And this would be a great support to what we're trying to do here at the parish. All right? Every gift counts. Every gift makes a difference. And if you can't do anything, I understand that. God be praised. All right? Now, I want to not just spend my time with you talking about the busyness of the ministries and the groups or the need for the fundraising. I want to situate this and something closer to my heart by being a priest, right? And I want to situate this around our identity, and rather than what are we about or how much does something cost, I want to ask you this question: who are we? Who really are we? And we say, well, we're Roman Catholics. Some who are here are not, but they're Christian brothers and sisters, but 99% of us are Roman Catholics. That means we're part of something that's 2,000 years old. something that was begun by Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And we are bearers of his risen Spirit inside of us, and we are to carry on his mission, right? And we're to carry that in Papillion and in Sarpy County. Now, in 1878, I don't know how many of you know this, but in 1878, there were 13 families that took upon themselves to plant a seed in Papillion, and they built the first church that was our parish. It was 13 families built a church of 16 pews. Think of that. I grew up in the rural with little parishes, so I know exactly what that's like. I've been to places like this. And I would imagine when those 13 families got done, they probably did most of the labor themselves. And when they stepped back, they had sweat, but they had a sense of pride. They had pride that they now had a home for their faith, a home for their sacraments, a home where they could adore the Blessed Sacrament, a place to praise and worship God. Now, we stand on the shoulders of what they did. That's why we're here. And I believe that I don't think they could ever comprehend what St. Columcille is today. With we're over 3,500 families, over 11,000 people in the database, 7 masses. They just would be blown away by what has come from their seed that they planted. It's beautiful. All right? Now, for ourselves, what are we supposed to be about? When I was younger, I remember reading a book by Catherine de Huck Doherty. And she talked about that it's not hard to know the will of God. And I was right away intrigued by that because I would like to do the will of God. And there's some days I wake up and I would say to myself, I wish I would get a to-do list from God. Do these 4 things, then you've done my will for the day and you're done. Or you need to stay up until you get the 4 things done. Whatever it would be, that would draw me to it, Then I would feel like I'm really doing it. But I can't hear him, don't know what he wants, right? She says, knowing God's will is not hard at all. And I thought, okay, what's this? She says, it's the duty of the moment. What's ever before you and the circumstances and the need at that moment, that's God's will for you. And then she gives examples. If you have to change a dirty diaper, that's God's will for you. If you have to fix a meal, clean the dishes, do the laundry, haul kids around, whatever you have to do, that's the duty of the moment. The duty of our moment is air conditioners, furnaces, roofs, cement. Now, you know me. When I asked to be the pastor here, I was all excited about the mission statement and the personal journey, and I want to talk and try to inspire and encourage you to take the next step to be more like Jesus. But the fact of the matter is, the duty of the moment is we need money to take care of this facility so that it is here a home for the next generation, for your children, for your grandchildren, and for the people after us. So that's why I'm standing here with this special initiative of Maintenance for Mission, and I'm asking you to join me if you can in making a pledge towards these sorts of needs for the next 20 months. I ask you to give to the best of your ability, and if you cannot give, I understand, God be praised. But each of us can play a role in some way. If it's not financial, it can be in prayer and participation. You can do something because everything matters. Every step counts to becoming more like Jesus. Now, for myself, I believe those 13 families are giants for our faith. And what I'm asking you to do is to join me in saying yes to the duty of our moment so that we will become giants for the next generation. Thank you for your attention and your thoughtfulness. Be assured that I do love you, I do pray for you, and I do feel privileged to be here. At the same time, 7 masses wear me out. So send a little prayer that I sleep well for tomorrow, right? God be praised. Thank you.